join, but keep anyone. So thank you all so much for joining our training call number 4. I am so excited about this training. Thank you, Sarah. I see you on for joining us, you guys. I'm super excited. I'm going to have Sarah introduce herself here in a minute, but I just want to tell you, so I have been a rep for a little over 3 years now, and Sarah was one of the very first people that I followed as a rep and watched in this business, and I have always loved everything that she has to share. I love who she is, how she shares it, her family. I just think she's amazing. So I asked her if she would so kindly come on and share with our team. She said she would, and I'm just so happy to have her. This is not like benefiting her team in any way. It's just out of the kindness of her heart to jump on and share with our team. So I appreciate you so much, Sarah. So Sarah, before you kind of get started, we're going to kind of have her share about having a CEO mindset. But Sarah, if you want to share a little bit about how you got involved in Zaya and a little bit about your background, that would be awesome. So I'm going to hand it over to you. You are muted if you want to unmute.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna hurry and move my mirror away from our Wi-Fi box because because I feel like I live in the worst place ever for internet. Hang on. Okay, that is the best. Every time I go on a call, I'm like, wait, let me go move my mirror. Anyway, super annoying. I am super excited to be on this call. I stood up because I feel like I have way more energy than when I'm sitting down. So I'm excited to hang out with you guys. And I haven't showered or anything, like it's my workout outfit from before. So that's how I used to like make my family leave the house. I would prepare, I'd like sweat and all the things. And then now I got smart and I just show up as I am without shower. So anyway, hopefully this is okay for you guys. But I'm really excited to hang out with you. I love Megan. Like, I feel like she is the most authentic person in life and online, and I've just really enjoyed meeting her and also hanging out with you a little bit, like on the beach in Hawaii. So it's been so amazing to meet you guys, or you and some of you people on the call, I'm sure. Okay, so a little bit about me. I am a stay-at-home mom of 4. I ended up getting into Zaya. Well, I do have this on my notes, I guess I'll say. So I started getting into Zaya about 5.5 years ago. I ended up signing up the day that the company launched. This is my first rodeo in direct sales. I have told many requests, people requesting me to, not like I'm something cool, but right, like the cold messaging was just like spam at all times back then, to join and do whatever it is they're doing, and I never felt aligned with any of it. Actually, that's a lie. True story. 2 weeks before I started selling Zaya, a mascara, Saint, it's not called Saint, but the mascara makeup just came out in the direct sales channel, and I was like, I'm gonna do this. So I bought it, which is hilarious because I don't wear makeup besides mascara. And I put it on, and my husband was like, I don't think you did that right. And I just remember being like, what? Like, it's like contouring and it's highlighting. It is not who I am at all. And then I saw Erin Bradley, who I went to high school with Erin, actually, post about activewear. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am in activewear all the time. And I'm always at the gym or I'm chasing 4 young kids. I have 4 children. At the time, I think the oldest was 10 years old when I joined. And so anyway, I was like, I'm always in activewear. And if Erin Bradley is doing it, I am in. So this is kind of a plug for Erin, because I feel like most people that you meet in high school, you usually are like, I would never name my kid that same name, right? Or you're just like, oh, that was cool or whatever. Like, not a lot of people are your favorite people. Oh, there we go. Not a lot of people are your favorite people from high school, but Erin Bradley is one that I was like, if she's doing it, I want to be a part of it. Now, I was anti-direct sales. It took me a minute. Like, she posted about it, and then the next post was, if you want to host a party. And I was like, just kidding, I don't want to be involved. Like, I'm not doing that. Anyway, it came time, and then I spent $900 on the starter kit when it launched day 1, 2 hours after. I didn't even tell my husband because I just spent $200 on a makeup kit that I never posted about 2 weeks before, and that's kind of how it went. So I was actually, at the time, stay-at-home mom. My husband was always working. He was always gone, missing so much of our kids' lives, which makes me emotional. And then I was suffering from massive social anxiety. I couldn't even talk to people at church. If somebody would spring up on me I'd be like, hey, Sarah, I would like go into a hot sweat. This was the last thing I saw myself doing. In fact, that's why I didn't even want to tell my husband, though he is so supportive. I did not want to even tell him because I thought he would never laugh at me, but I thought for sure he's going to laugh at me because I actually signed up for and was like excited to do this thing. So anyway, I put on like my stage presence, I guess, like Beyonce. I was like, I got to be somebody totally different. And I just went after it. The belief that I hadn't even tried the product yet, but the belief that I had in who started this ignited it all. I felt like that, you know, a lot of people say you're really lucky to sign up on that first day. It was hard. Like, it was so hard. That first year was so hard. And we had products that nobody knew about. We were trying to talk them into buying $90 leggings. Why would they do that when they can go to Lulu? Some of our products had holes the first time that we launched them. Like, there was just so many issues. But what I knew is that where this business was going was bigger than the problems that we were having at first because of who was behind it. And what's really, really cool is who was behind it is still who's behind it. And we all get to really benefit from what they've created. So that's a little bit about me. Like I said, stay-at-home mom of 4 and social anxiety. I was the last person you wanted on your team, but I figured it out and have been able to build a business here. So I'm excited to talk to you guys about this because I feel like this business has changed my family's life. Obviously, my husband has now quit his job. He quit right before I started Zaya, or a month after. And our plan was for him to start his own clothing business, which he had been working on forever. We are so blessed because Zaya came around. His business took 2 years longer. We were living out of savings. We sold our home. We bought a different home, totally downsized. And then we were able, and still are living off of Zaya. I mean, we did it when we were living off of it when I was making $100. And now as my paychecks have grown, it's just been able to be a huge blessing. And so I know what this business can become with a lot of hard work. I believe this is a Dash to Director group. Is that right? Okay. And so the Dash to Director, hitting Director was one of the biggest accomplishments because as we know, like, it's a little bit farther than senior rep, but it's all, what I want you guys to know is I think we see this as this far off thing and it's like director, oh, it's so hard to hit director or whatever. It is actually not, because it is built on the same principles of how you build your business. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to jump into this now and just say the thing that I've learned most from this business besides self-belief is having a CEO mindset and taking advantage of my business, taking control of my business. So there's a few things that I want to talk about and breakdown of having a CEO mindset, and take what you want. You're not going to find all the little nuggets, but take the nuggets that you find and implement them into your business. That's what I love about trainings is you don't have to go and then rehaul your whole business, but take what works for you and leave what doesn't. So what I think a CEO mindset is, or what a CEO does, is they know where they are spending their energy so they don't waste time and resources. So we always say time is our biggest asset, and that's actually not true. Energy is. And you can be doing a lot of things that are draining your energy that actually don't give you more time. They are not spent wisely. There's so much that you could be focusing on. A CEO mindset knows where they're spending their time. We're going to break that down in a second. And the second is they believe they are in control of their business. Those are two things I learned as a smack to the face, sometimes down in the dumps, like, oh my gosh, this business is controlling me. I don't have enough time. So-and-so doesn't want to host a party. So how am I going to hit this promo? Those are all things that we're going to talk about here because they're things that I think are so powerful that you can do today to start changing where you're spending your time and get familiar with that. And then also take control of your business. So number one, how many of you feel like you were told that you could do this business in, I don't even want to say nooks and crannies, because that's yes, you could do this in the nooks and crannies of your day if you want a hobby, if you want a discount on activewear. But a lot of times we sell it that way. I know I have, but when you say in the nooks and crannies of your day, how many of you were sold it that way? I know that we all have been at some point, or in the pockets of your time throughout your day, but your reality looks like a more sporadic 8-hour in and out of your business. You're actually not sure what you've got done. And by the end of the day, your paycheck doesn't match up to like the hours that you're spending in. Now, obviously we're entrepreneurs, so your paycheck at the beginning will not match the hours that you put in. That it doesn't matter what business that you start, your paycheck will not match up. But sometimes in this business, there's a lot of distracting, shiny things. And we are like, I have put in so much time, so much effort, and I made whatever your paycheck was that you were a little bit disappointed about. And so that is one thing that I did that changed my business is I got really clear on where I was spending my time. It will be an eye-opening thing for you to get really clear. And what I challenge you to do and what I did is a time audit. My coach challenged me to do this. It was the most tedious, obnoxious thing that I did for 7 straight days. But what I did is I just got my phone, and every time I was doing something, every 15 minutes, I mean, if I was at the gym, I logged it, but I wasn't like 15 minutes later still at the gym. I logged it. I would be like, I sent a message to party messengers. I scrolled social media, and then I blocked for an hour. I got real ideas for an hour and a half. Whatever it was, and I logged it in my phone. So it was like every 15, 20 minutes, whenever I was doing something, I would say what I was doing and how long it took me. It was so tedious, but it was also the biggest wake-up call that I needed, that I was spending a lot of time working when I wasn't working. And a lot of times we can say, don't watch your scroll, like make sure that you're actually doing income producing activities. But until you see it on paper, you actually are not aware of what it is that you're doing. And I promise you, because I just did this time audit like 4 months ago, and I was like, I'm still scrolling the internet for that many hours a day. It's so obnoxious, okay? So anyway, I would say this business can be done in a short amount of time if you are intentional. And the only way to be intentional is to know where you're spending your time. So that's number one, is to do a time audit. It also, obviously, you're going to see your dead time. You're going to see how much time you spent on the actions that actually matter versus the ones that were way more comfortable to do, like looking for real ideas or saving real, like, voice stuff, whatever. The sounds. That's way more comfortable. That's way more fun. And it just doesn't do all that much for us. So anyway, there's lots of shiny things to take our attention. This is kind of a CEO mindset, but I really wanted to break this down. There's so many shiny things to take our attention. Graphic creation, recreating the wheel of what our upline has already created. Just like, anyway, just overdoing everything, when at the end of the day, there really are 3 things that you need to be focusing on in this business. I believe a CEO, like I said, are aware of where they're spending their time and energy, and they know exactly what they need to do to make the best use of their time. So those things are, there are 3 things, really 4, I'll add the 4th one, but meet new people. Now, on social media, this can look like following new accounts, commenting, not like spammy commenting, but like, hey, me and you are both into the Peloton. I've never ridden a Peloton, but pretend me and you are both into the Peloton, and we're like, I'm going to comment on your Peloton thing. Like, we have that in common, right? Parties are meeting new people. That's why parties are so incredibly beneficial to our business. That's what we've preached from the beginning, is that parties are incredible because it is this attraction marketing formula in a little bubble. You get to do all 3 of these things with people inviting their friends to you. But outside of that, sometimes parties are duds, and sometimes people aren't watching, and we use all of these things and we think, anyway, we'll get into that. But as we know, sometimes Facebook bites us. But there's a whole nother way that you can utilize the same party, attraction marketing formula outside of parties and just through social media. So meeting new people. What does this look like? It's a new conversation. It is connecting with people who are commenting on your posts, liking your posts, watching your stories. When you go to your stories, imagine your stories like a YouTube channel, right? People are subscribing to your everyday life. They want to see the behind the scenes. They want to see what's going on. So they're going to subscribe to you basically by watching. I go in, I see who's viewing, I screenshot. Those are people, if I can't get to them that day, I'll get to them another day, and I could just go through and message those people. Thanks so much for watching my stories, or I go to their feed and I comment. They're watching me. They're already interested in me. So when I go and comment on their stories, it's not like this weird thing, right? Or I'm like, oh my gosh, your dog is so cute. I have that same dog, whatever. So having a new conversation or meeting new people. Meeting new people is also a new conversation. So if there's somebody from high school that I haven't seen forever, and she shows up in my feed, I'm gonna comment on it. Or if it's her birthday, I'm gonna comment on it. That is a new connection. But in parties, when you're going and introducing yourself and connecting with people, that's meeting new people there. So there's so many different ways to meet new people. The next one is adding value. There's a few different ways that you can add value. It can be through your content, through service, and that can be in parties, creating a not just a copy and paste putting yourself in there, making it a service party instead of a spammy sell party, adding different ways to dress things up, whatever, adding value that way, adding value through your conversation. You're connecting with people in parties, you're having conversations in the DMs about their cute little golden doodle dog that you're just in love with. Just connecting with people on a real life, like in a real way, right? We are so accustomed to be like, but I don't know what to say, but you're a human. So we, like, once we stop second guessing that, like, they're going to think that we're after them. It's like, no, I can connect with somebody, not just do it because I need her to join my business. I can do it because I'm here to be a human and connect with people, right? So meet new people, have new conversations, add value through conversation, through content, through connection. And then the last one is invite them in. So you are inviting them in to one of three things. Now, you're not going to invite everyone. You're not going to feel like somebody is your ideal rep, so you're not going to invite them. But you either invite them into rep after you're going back and forth and you're like, okay, Megan would really benefit. She lives in activewear. She just lost her job, or she's a single mom, or she just loves activewear. I'm going to say, hey, have you ever thought about doing what I do? I know you love activewear, right? Just being a normal human being, inviting them to host or inviting them into your VIP page. So, and some people you're just going to connect with. You're not even going to invite them. So I feel like whenever we feel like we're out to get people is when it gets weird and you don't know what to say, because nobody wants to be got, right? We just want to be connected and connected. So those are the three things. And then obviously the follow up on those things. So meeting new people, adding value, inviting them in. Those are the three main things that you need to be doing to build your business. And I will say, there was a quote, and I don't even know where it came from, but these are the most uncomfortable things that you're going to do in your business. If I'm being right, like, we overthink it, we like panic about it, and so we add it to the bottom of our list. And anything added to the bottom of your list, you will never do consistently, and you will never find mastery in. Never, ever. If it is at the bottom of your list, you will never find consistency in it, which is when you will get stuck in your business. So like I said, do your time audit, figure out where you're spending your time, and then also see how much time you're spending doing these things, and then move them to your top of your list and say, for the first 25 minutes of my power hour, I'm going to go and connect with new people who've been watching my stories, who are under the hashtag Peloton mom or whatever it is, or teacher fashion or whatever. And I'm just going to go connect with new people. So go meet people. Chances are once you comment, they're coming back to your feed. And then also you can add value through posts that you do, sharing recipes, whatever. Okay. So the other thing, oh, hang on, I got it really quick. I accidentally printed my notes on the back of my first page of notes, so that's awesome. Okay, let's see. And then follow up. Let's see. And then once you, this is very small, but once you look at your list of what it is that you're spending your most time on, recognize what needs to be eliminated and what can be automated. I'm not going to dive into this as much, but what can be automated is anything that you say to people over and over and over again. So what I did is, in my notes, I just have messages that I send to people on the first day of the party. I have links to the team Facebook group. I have links to my VIP page. Whatever it is that I always had to keep going back and getting anywhere, I created those notes or links in my notes. The other thing is, there's something called Boards, and it's a free app that you can put on your phone, and it's a keyboard, and you can pull up the keyboard and it has all of your links right there that you can send. And what's really cool is you can also send your boards to your team so that they have all the boards. So anyway, that's something too. But eliminate and automate, get rid of stuff, and let things go until you get mastery in these other things, and then also automate a few of the things that you do over and over and over again. This business is about duplication and repetition, which means you can also do that with your information that you're sharing. Okay. The next thing is the CEOs believe they are in control of their business. I don't know about you, but when I signed up, I believed that my success was directly coming from what my upline told me I needed to do. me and my upline signed up the same day. So that was kind of a stupid thing for me to think, but we didn't know what we were doing. But I was like, okay, what am I supposed to do? And I put all of my control in her and what she was teaching me. I put all of my success and my hope and my dreams and my control and what happened in my business in the quality of the resources that were available to me. But what's really, really cool is this business is built on human connection and sharing products that you love. So really the resources are less important than and learning and than taking control of your business. So when you believe that the answers are inside of you, you're not always messaging your upline, asking her questions, sitting there thinking in the I don't know mentality. You have so much more power within you to just take action, and you're not second guessing what that action is. Because when we don't believe we have control, we are second guessing the next step to take. Sometimes I believe that our onboarding processes can be so intense and so detailed that it actually trips up our reps to go, wait, what's next? Instead of them intuitively going, okay, now this is what I'm going to do, right? And they're taking control and they're taking action in their business instead of waiting for their upline to tell them what's next. So they take control of their business. Now, I have a lot of reps, not a lot of reps, but when my reps come to me, or I do it in myself, like I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to earn Punta Cana. Nobody wants to host a party. The parties are sucking. I can't earn this. Like I gave my control to what my customers were responding, to the people I was talking to, or what their response was. Like my business and where I was headed was in complete control on if my reps wanted to work, if my customers wanted to purchase, or if I could talk. I always thought I had to talk people into doing different things so that I could earn my business. That's actually not being in control of your business. That is putting it outside of you. Once you realize that you are in control, you get to take the different steps to make things happen in your business. Now, this takes mindset work. This takes being like, no, actually, and kind of recentering your brain, because as humans, we are naturally putting it on other people. We don't want to take the pain. We're just like, that's uncomfortable. I don't want to talk to her about party. Oh my gosh, nobody's hosting party. So when I have a rep come to me and she says, I'm struggling, I can't book a party, we have a tracker. I look at her tracker and I see how many new conversations she's had, how many people she's added value to or had a conversation or whatever, how many posts maybe she's done on social media or in her VIP page that actually adds value, not just the spammy post, or not, I don't want to even say spammy, the engagement post, like something that adds value, and how many people she's actually invited in. So it's amazing, or I do it to myself, and it is amazing when that happens, because we can pinpoint exactly why she can't book a party. It is because regularly she's not inviting people in. If she can't recruit, she's not inviting, or she's not meeting new people, or she's not adding value. If you are missing one of those three things, you are not moving your business forward. Why? Because if you're adding a lot of value and you're meeting new people, but you're not inviting them in, you're not recruiting and you're not getting more parties, right? You're just selling, which is great, but you're just selling and you're just making posts and talking. If you are inviting a lot of people, meeting new people and inviting them in, but you're not adding value, they're not connected to you. That is like the cold message, meeting new people, inviting them in, right? And then I can't remember which one I haven't said, but either way, you do need all three. And that's what I challenge all of my girls to do, is once they realize that they can look at what they've done in their business and tweak a few things, turn a few knobs, that they can actually change the results that they are getting. And it has nothing to do with who's saying no, who had a flop party, whatever it is about the actions that they are taking, because the more people you meet, the more people are adding value to, the more people you're inviting in, you will see results in this business. And you can see different times in your business where that is the case, and then maybe you step back, which I'm a firm believer that there are growth phases and then there are alignment phases in your business. Not always are we running, right? Sometimes we have to realign, patch holes, redirect, and then we can run again. I actually believe there's a lot of that going on right now in Zaya. I know that it's a little slower. I hate even saying that, but I'm grateful for it, because there's a lot of holes that I'm like, oh my gosh, I felt like we were just like juggling, and now we can like patch holes and like move forward in like the right, really good direction. So there's something else that I wanted to say. The other thing is they know where they're spending their time. Something that has been huge for my team and myself is doing a weekly evaluation, that I track how many people I talked to, how many people posts I did or add value, whatever, and then how many people I invited in. Sometimes I'm like, I went all week and I didn't invite anyone. And then I go 2 weeks and I didn't invite anyone and I made one post, but I felt like I was working that whole time. No wonder I wasn't recruiting. But so that, and then on that same evaluation, you get to also answer these 3 questions. What worked? What didn't work? And what will I do differently? You get to solve your own problem instead of saying, I can't host, or nobody's hosting, or if somebody comes to you as upline, sometimes I think we need to have all the answers. But if we can turn it on them and say, well, what worked about that? What didn't work? And what will you do differently? If you have a flopped party, put the same evaluation on it. What worked? What didn't work? What will you do differently? Well, sometimes our parties don't work because the value we add is just a copy and paste from this template that our upline gave us, and really we need to make it our own, right? So what worked, what didn't work, and it's like, I'm going to change some of the posts to add a little bit more value. So that's the other thing. The last thing is a mindset piece that I am going to say, because mindset, this is CEO mindset, and it's all about taking control and being aware of where you're at. But also it is about, well, this is also in the taking control. But the last thing I'm going to say is, I don't know about you, but I sit in the I don't know. My brain will immediately go to I don't know. I don't know. Like my rep will message me, I don't know. I don't know how to help her. Or I talk to my husband. Or in parenting, I've got teens now, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Like I can't even deal with it. That is our brain's way of shutting down. Because when you don't know, your brain will never look for ways that you do know, right? So concentrate on when you say I don't know, because that takes you out. That keeps you in your comfort zone. You don't have to know, you don't have to figure it out, but it's also very paralyzing. So I challenge you, and I tell my girls this all the time, to change that to say, what if you did know? So when I'm like, well, what have you been doing? What would you change in that evaluation? And they say, I don't know. And I'm like, but if you did know what to change, what do you think it would be? So I had a girl ask me a question, my coach, actually, Rachel Bodie, and she said, she asked me what my goals were. Like I was working with her and she's like, what's your big goal? And I was like, well, I don't know. Gosh, because it felt kind of heavy to say a goal. And she's like, but if you did know, what would it be? And then I spouted off something. I was like, well, if I did know, it would be this. And she's like, interesting. Because when we ask our brains a question, it will respond. So if you ever feel stuck and you notice you or your rep or your child is saying, I don't know, change it and say, but if I did know, it would be this. So when you can kind of say, what would I do different? Okay, if I knew what I should do different, what would it be? It's going to pop up for you. I promise. Like our brains have so much freaking power. And once we can jump into that power and like take it back, your business will be limitless. You, like I said, are going to have growth periods and alignment periods. And when you have a CEO mindset, you are here for those alignment periods. We are not just here to hang out for 6 months and then take the failure as a sign that we suck and like we're out. I promise you, every single leader that has been here, no matter how long, that went to Hawaii has felt like a failure, like a number of times, and maybe even felt like an imposter at some time. And what the difference is from those that are still here and those that aren't, they didn't take it to mean that they would never grow again, or they said, okay, so how can I shift and I can change? So failure is never, ever permanent. And it is honestly, like my coach says all the time, and I'm always like, that is so cheesy, but it is on the way to success. Failures have to happen on the way to success, because the only way you're going to find confidence is doing the work that we've already kind of talked about today. So you will never learn mastery or consistency or confidence in anything until you actually start taking those steps. So, and this is the very last thing that I'm going to lead you with. And I was trying to print them out, and I'll probably send them to you, Megan. But belief questions. So there are some belief questions that have been changing my personal life as my coach has been helping me redo systems or whatever. And then I'm like, oh, like we all have those days where you're like, oh, I super suck today. And actually, I don't know why. I'm a leader and I know nothing. Like we all kind of have those days. I mean, I hope other people do too. But she would always kind of be like, what do you know? How can you help this? Like, what talents do you have? why are you the best person for this job? Whatever it is, it was like these belief questions that shifted. I remember being, I am a stay-at-home mom. I went to hair school. Like, there's so many rock star leaders, and there are times that I'm like, oh, not, but why do I suck so bad? And like fall down that hole. And then she told me, she was like, what do you know? What do you bring to the table? And I wrote out a whole page, and it wasn't being cocky, of what I bring to the table for my team. But in that moment, I couldn't think of any of them until she asked me that question, and then my brain would answer it. So I'm going to send you those belief questions. I was trying to print them out, and then I ran out of paper. So I'll send that to you. But the last quote that I have is from Katie Harlan. And she just said it on a call one day, and I freaking loved it. So you got to read it in Katie Harlan's voice. But it was like, keep going and you will win. And I was like, yes, like that is it. Keep going and you will win, right? Stay in the problem and it will be answered for you. Like, just keep going and you will win. And then there's another quote that is on my phone, and I wasn't planning on being on my phone, that I'm going to send you to you as well, Megan. But it was like, just because somebody's going faster than you doesn't mean they are replacing you. And it was like, you belong here. You can have this too. And so I'll send those things over to you. But that's it. That's all I have for tonight.
Oh my gosh, Sarah, I just seriously love you. You're so real, like so real, so authentic. I have so many notes. I was like, I couldn't write fast enough. Seriously, I loved all of it. One thing I wanted to ask you was well, first I want to say the thing I circled was, I love how you said nobody wants to be got, because sometimes when I say, oh, we got a new rep, it feels icky to say. And so I love that you said that, because it's so true. We don't get anyone to this team. We don't catch anyone, we connect with them and we share with them. And so I love that you said that and brought that up, because I always feel that when I say it, it even sounds icky to say. And then when you say invite them in, can you just give some examples of how you're personally doing that with people to get them like into your network or whatever?
Yes. Yeah. So if I have a list of who my ideal rep is, I've been in this long enough to know, and this is going to come off, I feel like there is a rep for every person, and I have had to define who is the right rep for me, right? I am not an overpowering personality, so I don't usually recruit people that are overpowering because they would eat me alive, right? But there is a rep for somebody that is like that, or whatever it is. Like when I used to talk about, well, anyway, depending on what you talk about is who you're going to bring in. So I have a list of people that is my ideal rep. I have a list of qualities that are my ideal host. So when I'm talking to somebody, now as far as my ideal rep, if I have somebody that posts on their stories regularly, has posts at least once a week, as I'm looking kind of at their stuff, that they are kind of like a go-getter. I even will have an Enneagram 3 wing too, because that kind of has the 3, but like softens them a little bit. But they're also a go-getter. So I have like detailed, a mom is really my ideal customer, or my ideal rep as well. Anyway, I have those. So as I'm talking to somebody, if she meets that and she's outgoing, she posted her face on her Instagram multiple times, not just her dog or her kids all the time, I will invite her. I'm just like, hey, you seem to love activewear. You are so outgoing. Have you ever tried Zaya or thought about doing the business? When it's back and forth, and it may be 4 times back and forth, and it may be 10 times back and forth. I try and make it so I'm never waiting for the opportune time, but I am so authentic in my invite, because that is somebody I know could do amazing. So my invite is very much real and authentic. So I know what to say to her. It's like, oh my gosh, you love activewear. Have you ever thought about doing this? Getting whatever. And then also hostesses. Like I have hosts, ideal hosts, right? Qualities of them, and then ideal customers. So, and if I am hesitant to bring up the business or host opportunity, I try to go for it, because we are always hesitant. I don't think you'll ever not feel hesitant at first to be like, oh crap, what is she going to think of me? And then I'm like, actually, it's not about me, it's about her. So I'm just going to invite her and she can say no. But if you are, we all know that 91% of our customers or of our reps were customers first. So then I'm just like, hey, have you ever tried Zaya? I'd love to give you a discount. And then you can do the follow-up. That's like, You love it. Awesome. Have you thought about being a rep? So really, I don't think there's a right or wrong or like a step-by-step process, because I try and be who I am and like authentically see which one would be work best for them.
Okay, perfect. I love it. Love it. Love it. That helps a lot. I had a couple people text me asking to ask you that. So
Yeah.
no, I appreciate, seriously, so good. Does anybody have any questions? Otherwise, I don't want to keep you, but Sarah, I cannot tell you how much I thank you. I know, speaking from myself and so many that are listening right now and so many that are going to listen to the recording, that people love how real and how natural you are with this business. And I learned so much in this 30 minutes just listening to you. So I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. If anyone has any questions, unmute. Otherwise, I don't want to take any more of your time, Sarah, but everyone is appreciative. Thank you again so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I appreciate that. Your kind words are so nice. I appreciate that.
No problem. And then, yeah, if you want to shoot me over that stuff that you have, that would be awesome. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Sorry I didn't have that prepared.
Oh, gosh. No.
All right. Have a good night, you guys.
Well, thanks, everyone. Thank you, Sarah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.